In this video we're going to be looking at the Breakouts feature of Adobe Connect. Breakouts are a really powerful tool. They're pretty unique to Adobe Connect. You don't find this in many other webinar platforms. But they're really useful. Essentially what they allow you to do is to do small group activities within your Adobe Connect meeting room. So if you have a call of say 18 people, you could break those up into 2 groups of 9 or 3 groups of 6, and in different parts of the meeting they could work within their small group to have private conversations and to take notes and do specific activities just with themselves. So we're going to be looking at this feature today. Right now I have a meeting room open on my window, and you'll see that we have some people who've joined us here. Well, I haven't done my prep work yet. Normally you would do all the prep work before the meeting starts, but I'm going to show you how to do that now, how to set up your breakout rooms. So say you logged in early and you wanted to set up your breakout rooms. You go to this menu here to the right, and you have in your attendees pod you have a few different view options up here at the top. The one in the middle is your breakouts view, that little X. So if I click on that, okay, I'm going to see a list of names, and I'm here at the top. You'll see that the main area here is my main meeting room. But if I scroll down, I'm going to see breakout room 1, breakout room 2, and if I wanted to I could add new breakout rooms here by clicking on this little plus sign. It'll add new breakout rooms. So I got 4 in place here. You can delete breakout rooms if you have too many. I only need 2 for this activity, so I'm going to delete those last 2, and we just have 2 breakout rooms available. And the first thing I'm going to do is just go into my breakout rooms and make sure everything is set up. So if you scroll over names here in the breakouts pod, you can select to put people either in the main meeting room or in breakout 1 or breakout 2. So that's an easy way to flip people into the breakout room. Now even though I put my name down here for breakout 1, I'm still seeing the same thing that everybody else is seeing, and that's because I haven't actually started the breakouts yet. I have to hit start breakout for me to go into this meeting room 1 to see what I have there. So you'll see that I already have a couple of pods set up. I have one with a discussion question, and this is the question that this group will be discussing. This note pod is set up so that people can take notes here to the left. I've got a little pod set up here with some quotes to hopefully stimulate some ideas and some thinking. A chat pod to the right. If I wanted to, I could manipulate these. I could hide certain pods. I could add new ones. I could change the size. But I'm pretty satisfied with how this is set up. One of the things to point out is even though I'm seeing breakout 1, everybody else is still seeing that main meeting room screen, and that's because they're all still here in the main meeting room. So they're not viewing what I'm viewing. I'm just bouncing around on the back end, and I'm changing some of these rooms, or just making sure that they're all set up correctly. I'm going to put myself in breakout 2 now, and it changes the layout slightly. Still have our quotes over to the side. I have a different question here in the main pod that this group will be discussing, so this is for group 2. And yeah, I'm happy with how this room looks. So I think our note pods are all, our breakout pods are all set up. I'm going to put myself back in the main meeting room. Now one of the things that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to, after the breakouts are finished, put people into one room together and for them to be able to see the notes that the other group took. So I want to create a new layout here, and on the left I want to have the notes from group 1, and on the right I want to have the notes from group 2. So I'm going to create a new layout in order to do that. But first, as the moderator here, as the host, I don't see my layouts to the right of the screen, and that's because we're still in breakout mode. So I need to end breakouts in order for us to come out of that and for my layouts to return. I have people in the room here, so I'm going to go to presenter mode, prepare mode, sorry. And that'll allow me to bounce around in the back end without everybody else's view changing, so they'll still see this screen even though I'm going around and doing different things. And I'm going to go ahead and add a layout here. I'm going to click on this little plus sign. I want to duplicate the presentation layout, and I'm going to call this small group so that I know that when I'm ready for my small group sharing out, I can go directly to this layout. So it's created it here at the bottom. I'm going to drag it up to the top. I actually want it to be the 3rd layout in my sequence because it's going to be the 3rd thing that we view. And in this layout, you'll see that I know that I'm viewing this, this particular layout because it's got the yellow around it, and that's what shows me, you know, in my prepare mode, everybody else is seeing polls, but I'm seeing this. I'm going to hide this virtual meetings pod, and instead, in its place, I want to basically put those 2 notes pods from my small groups. So notes, if I look under my notes section, I'm not going to see the notes pods from my small group, and that's because Adobe Connect has actually stuck these all in a different place. If you go down here, you find this breakouts pod option, and that's where I'll be able to access all of my breakout pods for breakout 1 and for breakout 2. So I want to use the notes from question 1 from group 1, so I'm going to click on group 1 pod, and then for group 2, go into breakout pods, breakout 2, I'm going to want to grab that group 2 notes pod, and I'll just position these side by side. So now, once everybody in each group is done taking notes, they'll be able to come out here, and the group 1 folks will be able to see what group 2 wrote, and vice versa. So now I'm feeling pretty good about things. We have our breakout room set up. We've got our little layout for after the small group work set up. I'm going to go out of prepare mode now, and I'm going to start to drop people into small groups. So you'll remember that our main layout here, this first little tab in the attendees pod, this view gives us, you know, whether or not a person is a presenter, a host, or a regular participant. We're going to want to go to that middle view, that X, and from here I'm just going to start dropping people. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to start dropping people into breakouts by scrolling over their name and selecting either breakout 1 or breakout 2. And I want to make sure that things are pretty evenly distributed, so I'm just kind of going back and forth here. Okay. And once you're done here, you can scroll down and you can see that, you know, we've got 4 people in the first breakout, 3 in the second. If you wanted to flip some people around, you could go ahead and do that. And you know, when you're ready to go to your breakouts, you just click on the Start Breakouts button. So you'll see that for me, the view didn't change much. I'm still seeing the same screen. It's gotten rid of the layouts on the side because that's kind of what happens when you're in breakout mode. But if I wanted to go into the room and see what the other folks were seeing, I could drag myself down, or I could scroll over my name and select a breakout for myself. So right now I'm in breakout 1. I'm seeing what everybody else is seeing. You'll notice that if you switch the view over here to the left, to kind of your regular view, everybody here, you know, they were set as regular participants before, but here they're presenters. So they have a little more power in the breakout rooms, and this happens by default. And what that allows them to do is not only can they chat, but they can come in here and they can manipulate some of the pods, they can take notes, they can do other things on their own. So so all the folks in your breakouts will have access to that, and you know, your participants will also have access to their microphone rights as soon as they enter this mode, even if you've disabled them in the main room. So that's something to keep in mind. But usually we want people to use their mics when we're doing breakouts, so that's usually a very good thing. I'm going to go back to my breakouts view here, and I'm going to put myself in breakout 2. Okay, and we can check to see how things are going here. You know, we've got our folks in breakout 2. Okay, they can be taking notes over here if they want. Usually if you're doing breakouts, you want to have volunteers beforehand who can help to moderate the discussion in each of these rooms. You want to let people know before you go into breakouts that they need to select a facilitator, that they need to select a note taker, and that note taker would then take notes as people are discussing. And then really, if you want people to use their microphones, you should get that set up with everybody in the main meeting room before you start the breakouts, because it's going to be really hard to go in yourself to these different rooms and try to get everybody's mics activated. I think ideally, if you have a small enough group, you do that beforehand. You walk through the list and you take 5 to 10 minutes to get everybody's mics activated, and then you stick them into breakout mode. So you know, once you're done with your breakouts, you can go to you know, click on End Breakout here, and that'll bring everybody out into the main meeting room. And then I'd want to go to my little small group sharing out view, so that people in group 1 can see what group 2 did, and vice versa. And then you can have a full group discussion about your activity. So essentially that's it. That's how you set up your breakouts. That's how you start them and how you finish them. One thing to note is that if you're doing breakouts, your recording can get a little bit funny. So you might want to make sure you trim out that part of the recording, and then just double check it later to make sure that it recorded okay. If it didn't record correctly, you might have to get in touch with Adobe Connect and get things fixed. So that's Breakout 101. Go forth and conquer.